Once upon a time, in a land of marble palaces and glittering crowns, there ruled a great and mighty king named Zorvar. His court was filled with warriors, scholars, and nobles, each louder, bolder, and more polished than the last. But among all the noise, there was one quiet soul, the king's only son, Prince Arien. He was thoughtful, observant, and humble, and because of that, many believed he was foolish. "He doesn't speak much," the ministers whispered. "He isn't fit for the throne," the generals scoffed. "He doesn't even dress like royalty," the nobleman laughed. But the king loved his son, even if he sometimes doubted him. One afternoon, in front of the entire royal court, King Zorvar decided to test his son's wisdom. He raised his hand and asked loudly, "My son, tell me, which is more valuable, silver or gold?" The court fell silent. Everyone expected a proud, clever answer, something that would show off the prince's royal thinking. But Arien simply replied, "Silver, father." Gasps filled the room. One noble scoffed, "Silver? Has the prince gone mad?" Another smirked. "What kind of future king chooses silver over gold?" Even the king's brow furrowed. He looked at his son and said, perhaps a little too sharply, "Silver? My son, the world bows to gold. You were given a chance to show your wisdom, and you chose the lesser metal. You've made yourself a fool." Arien didn't offend himself. He simply bowed and returned to his seat. The court moved on. But that night, something curious happened. A messenger arrived, breathless and pale. "Sire, a deadly sickness is spreading through the western villages. The people need medicine, tools, healing metal." The king called his council. "Send them gold," he ordered, but the court physician interrupted. "Your Majesty, gold is useless here. We need silver. Silver kills the infection. Silver purifies water. Silver saves lives." The court fell silent. Everyone turned to look at Prince Arien, the same fool who chose silver. The king stood still, his face unreadable. Then slowly, he walked to his son, placed a hand on his shoulder, and whispered, "You weren't a fool. You were simply too wise for a room full of men trying to look clever." He turned to the court and declared, "Gold may shine in the sun, but silver shines when it matters most. The world is obsessed with display, but real power doesn't need to shout." From that day on, Prince Arien was no longer seen as a fool, but as a leader who valued substance over show, service over shine, and wisdom over ego. And when he became king years later, he didn't rule with noise or glittering gold. He ruled with quiet strength and silver grace. And so the tale of the two plants was passed on, to remind the hurried, the anxious, the unseen. Just because you're not growing above the surface doesn't mean you're not growing at all. Real strength, the kind that survives storms, takes time. So if your dreams are taking longer than you expected, if the world doesn't see your progress yet, don't give up. Keep building your roots. Because when your moment comes, you won't just rise, you'll rise unshakable.